Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Reverend Kimberly Tomchuk Carlson. It is my honor to serve as your Minister of Religious Education. The story I have for you today is called The Rabbit Who Listened. It's by Cora Dorfeld. One day, Taylor decided to build something new, something special, something amazing. Taylor was so proud. But then, out of nowhere, disaster birds. Things came crashing down. The chicken was the first to notice. Cluck, cluck. cluck, cluck, cluck. What a shame. I'm so, so sorry this happened. Let's talk about it. Cluck, cluck, cluck. But Taylor didn't feel like talking, so the chicken left. Next came the bear. Oh, how horrible. I bet you're so angry. Let's shout about it. Grr, grr, grr. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting, so the bear left. The elephant knew just what to do. Ta-da, I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering, so the elephant left. One by one they came. The hyena, hee, let's laugh about it. The ostrich, gulp, oh, let's hide and pretend that nothing happened. The kangaroo, tisk, tisk, what a mess. Let's throw it all away. And the snake, sss, let's go down and knock somebody else's down. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually, they all left, and Taylor was alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit, but it moved closer and closer until Taylor could just feel its warm body. And together, they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." And the rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to hide, to throw everything away, to ruin things for someone else. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plan to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. "It's going to be amazing." The end. Please now rise in body or in spirit. Tristan will lead us in our next song.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Please rise. Because this is the fourth time we've gone through this, let's just try singing. I'll kind of get some cues at the beginning and help refresh your memory.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee. I'm Desiree Pointer-Mace, and I'm truly happy to serve as your worship associate today. We are a faith community of many identities. We welcome people of all genders, sexualities, ages, races, ethnicities, histories, and bodies. We welcome your heart, your mind, and your spirit. We welcome all you are carrying with you today and all your heart longs to set down. We welcome all the people watching online as we live stream this service. Hi, online folks. Those of you who are watching online, you may want to find a candle and some matches to participate in the ritual later in the service. We enthusiastically welcome all guests today. If you are a visiting guest, we invite you to fill out a welcome card located in the pew rack in front of you and drop it in the offering plate that will come around in a few minutes. After the service, please join us for a social hour across the hall in the Lean House Common Room. Some accessibility notes: you can find hearing assist devices and large print hymnals and orders of service in the back of the sanctuary, as well as worship activity bags for children and anyone who wants them. There is a fragrance-free area in the front right pews. If you're watching online, you can enable YouTube's closed captioning feature on your viewing device. I welcome you to join in First Church's mission and purpose by reading with me our unison affirmation of our mission, which is printed in your order of service. We gather to nurture the spirit, engage the mind, and inspire action. Every week, we have an opportunity to practice our values through sharing our resources. Our pledges are at the core of our spiritual practice of generosity. In addition, the church shares half of all the non-pledged cash in our offering plate with a community organization practicing our value of interdependence. Today, we share the plate with the Bad River Tribe's Defend the Bad River Fund, which helps the tribe safeguard a vital ecosystem while also ensuring a sustainable future for generations to come. Today is a multi-generational service, so all children, unless they are in preschool or nursery, are invited to stay with us in the morning service. And so we will now receive the offering gratefully as we remain seated and sing hymn 112, Do You Hear? May the practice of giving bring us joy. I invite you to join me in a moment of contemplation, which will be followed by silence and then the seated singing of hymn 123, Spirit of Life. Take some time to ground yourself. Find your way into this moment. I invite you to lean in, choosing to be fully here. Listen to your breath guiding you. Feel the air entering your body, filling your lungs, and expiring into the world. Again and again. Breath among us, breath within us, and breath beyond us. Separate and connected. Spirit of life and love, sacred ones, be with us, listening to our breaths. Hold us all in love as we let our fears rest briefly inside this place of community and care. Our bodies can focus our awareness, whether we wiggle our toes or ears, or just breathe in and out. May we clear away the clutter and noise of a week to find moments of rest. Let us eavesdrop on the stillness we can create together. Take notice of the creaking pews that whisper love and hope of all the generations that found solace here. May we tune into that love. Feel it surround us like a blanket. Believe it is ours. Trust that it holds us and all we love as we exhale into this quiet again and again.
I'd like to share the context for our ritual of honoring our beloved dead. And these are words which Reverend Jennifer wrote some years ago. In a number of religious traditions, this is the time of year when we remember our dead. Doing so helps us mark time, move grief, and honor those who have died. We will soon move into darkness and cold here, a season of transition and natural dying, when stories say the goddess Inanna descended into the underworld and Persephone was kidnapped by Hades. Two of the biggest rituals in North America today are a blend of pagan traditions with the Christian All Saints and All Souls Days of Remembrance, honoring those who have joined what some Christians call the Great Cloud of Witnesses. Our American Halloween is a blend of the Celtic rituals of Samhain and the Christian ritual of All Hallowtide, which includes both All Saints' Day, Hallowmas, as well as its eve, Halloween. Both the Celtic and Christian rituals rest on a belief that this time of year, spirits can move more easily between the worlds of death and life. The Day of the Dead, or Dia de Muertos, is a Mexican tradition that blends indigenous rituals for honoring the dead with All Saints' Day. Separation between the worlds of the living and the dead dissolves for the day, and the dead return to the world of the living to dance and drink and feast with their living loved ones. Halloween tends to be spooky, with a sense of threat from death when the veil is thin. Dia de Muertos is more celebratory, with an invitation to the dead to return and a celebration of life in the face of death. This morning, we will invite you into our annual ritual of remembrance to honor loved ones who have died. The folks who are participating at home, now would be the time to grab your candle and matches. For those who are so moved, we invite you to light a candle for your beloved loved ones who have died, either speaking their name aloud or quietly holding it in the sanctuary of your heart. We will begin by reading the names of our church members and active friends who have died since our ritual last year. John Martin Hagedorn, Sr. Nelson Kading. Lauren Robert Lays. Janet Fitch. Marlo Nordstrom. Margot Fry. Daniel James O'Keefe. Lisa Marie Noble. Thalys Hoyt Drake. John Walker. Those in the sanctuary, please come forward now as you are moved to light a candle. Feel free to come around both sides of the table and behind. Accessibility note, if you'd like someone to light a candle for you, raise your hand, and ushers, keep an eye out to come forward and light a candle for those who would like to remain seated. Those of you participating online, now would be the time for you to light your candles. Will you rise in body or spirit to join in the responsive reading, We Remember Them, by Roland B. Gittleson? Please respond when I gesture by saying, We remember them. Let's practice. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, in the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, in the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, in the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, in the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, in the beginning of the year and when it ends, when we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart, when we have joys we yearn to share, so long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. Please be seated.
The leaves are falling, the weather is changing. Here in Milwaukee and in many cultures in the Northern Hemisphere, the seasons invite us to think about ways to recognize the shift in the world and in ourselves. The shift from growing to dying like the leaves. The shift from activity to rest like the trees. The shift from focusing on those who are alive to remembering our loved ones who have died and how we are connected to them. Love still connects us. This poem by Mexican-American poet Alberto Rios talks about how Dia de los Muertos celebrates experience and memory, sadness and happiness, loud and quiet, and shifting between those sensations. This is from his collection, A Small Story About the Sky. November 2nd, Dia de los Muertos. It is not simply the Day of the Dead, loud and parties. More quietly, it is the day of my dead, the day of your dead. These days, the neon of it all, the big teeth, laughing skulls, the posed calacas and catrinas and happy dead people doing funny things, it's all in good humor, and sometimes I can't help myself. I laugh out loud, too. But I miss my father. My grandmother has been gone almost so long I can't grab hold of her voice with my ears anymore, not easily. My mother-in-law, she's still here, still in things packed in boxes, her laughter on videotape and in conversations. Our dog died several years ago, and I try to say his name whenever I leave the house. You take care of the house now, I say to him, the way I always have, the way he knows. I grew up with trips to the cemetery and pan de muerto, the prayers and the favorite foods, the carne asada, the beer. But that was in the small town where my memory still lives. Today, I'm in the big city, and that small town feels far away. The Day of the Dead, it's really the Days of the Dead. All Saints' Day, the 1st of November, also called the Dia de los Angelitos. Everybody thinks it's Day of the Dead, but it's not exactly. The first day is for those who have died a saint, and for the small innocents, the criaturas, the tender creatures who have been taken from us all, sometimes without a name. To die a saint deserves this day, to die a child. The following world, not so different from the ways in which we imagine those who are gone, their memories smaller, their clothes brighter. We want to feed them only candy, too. So much candy that our mouths will get hypnotized by the sweetness, our own eyes dazzled by the color, our noses by the smells the first cool breath of fall makes, a fire always burning somewhere out there. We feed our memories. And then, humans that we are, we just want to move quickly away from it all, happy for the richness of everything, if unsettled by the cut pumpkins and gourds, the howling decorations, the marigolds, cempasúchiles. If it rains, they stink, these fussy flowers of the dead, bread of the dead, day of the dead. It's hard to keep saying the word. The dead, they take over the town like beach vacationers, returning tourists, getting into everything. I had my honeymoon there, they say, and they are always full of contagious nostalgia. But it's all right. They go away after a while. They go, and you miss them all over again. The papel picado, the cut blue and red and green paper decorations, the empanadas and coconut candy, the boxes of cajetas, saladitos, which make your tongue white like a ghost's. You miss all of it soon enough. Pictures of people smiling, news stories, all the fiestas, all this exhaustion, the coming night, the sweetbreads, the bone tiredness of too much. Loud noise, loud colors, loud food, mariachis, even just talking, it's a bunch of noise, but it belongs here. The loud is to help us not think, to make us confuse the day and our feelings with happiness, because, if we do think about our dead, wherever they are, we'll get sad and begin to look across at each other.
In her poem, The Clearing, Martha Postlethwaite suggests that when you don't know what to do, you should create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently. Parker Palmer claims that the only way the soul can emerge is by creating a clearing for it through deep listening. How might we create a clearing for the soul and listen to what it needs in our dense lives, packed with joys and sorrows? Sometimes people need to get away from work or from school to find a clearing. 7 years ago, during my sabbatical, I went to the Clearing Folk School in Door County for the first time. I was enchanted as I drove up that winding one-lane road at the entrance. The trees formed an archway, like a blessing over our heads. It was clear that we were entering a special place. The clearing for the cottages, the clearing of the meadow, the clearing for the fire pit, the clearing of the expansive view over the waters of Green Bay. I went for a women's writing retreat, took my laptop and camp chair, and sat quietly under the cedar trees at the edge of the cliff overlooking the water. A kingfisher bird flew by and chickadees chattered. Suddenly, I was writing a poem, something I had not done for years. My mind cleared and my soul emerged. It knew I was listening and open to hear. The season of autumn is a clearing. Leaves fall, bare branches are revealed. Cleaning up the garden, we can see the soil again. Looking up, we see that special color of October blue sky, and we've had so many of those days this month of October. The old pagan belief that there is a veil between the worlds of the living and the dead, and the veil gets thin during the last days of October and first days of November is something some folks still believe today. Imagine a piece of very sheer fabric, very lightweight, very thin, so that if you shook it out in the air, it would float. The belief some people hold is that veil between the worlds gets very thin, like that piece of fabric, opaque, almost translucent, which creates space to see through where we don't usually look. Maybe even to hear things we don't usually hear. The thin veil is the clearing. And there are so many ways to create a clearing. Listening to poetry creates a space, invites us to think and sense things differently, to hear, see, touch in ways we don't usually do. Or you could take a large feather in your hand, start at your feet, and just move that air up, all the way up in front of your body, over your head. Create that clearing. Or pretend you have a very, very long string of dental floss. Can you see my imaginary dental floss? Let's pretend that I'm just flossing my head, creating a clearing. You want to try that? Sure. Floss your body, create a clearing. It's so silly. It's so fun. And then what do you do with that dental floss when you're done? Sorry, sopranos. I think it landed somewhere over there. Or maybe just spread your hands wide open and use your fingers like a comb. You can comb that space around your body, clear your aura, create a clearing. And then there's spiritual practices like yoga and running and meditation, clearing the dust from your mind, clearing the snags, the things get stuck in your thoughts, going round and round and round, or stuck in your feelings. Sitting still and taking a few deep breaths can clear the body of anxiety. Or getting some exercise can clear your thoughts. Barker Palmer said the soul comes forth in a clearing and only a quiet clearing, like a deer emerging from the forest. When you think about a deer, a real deer stepping out of the dense forest into a meadow or a field, the deer moves slowly and carefully, ears alert to any sound, listening. Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh wrote about the power of listening. He wrote, "By listening compassionately to yourself, you have started to come home to yourself. Going home requires only sitting down and being with yourself, accepting the situation as it is. Yes, it might be a mess in there, but we accept it because we know we have left home for a long time. So now we're home with our in-breath and our out-breath, our mindful breathing. We begin to tidy up our homes." Reverend Kimberly invited us to breathe together in and out, feeling the breath. We also listen to the gong before and after our silent meditation, perhaps noticing how many seconds we can hear that sound. These are all simple ways to create a clearing in our dense lives, a clearing in ourselves that can bring us calm. And so many of you have told me recently that you need some calm. So we can come back to those practices again and again, those practices of clearing and creating calm. I wonder, what might you need to create a clearing for your soul? The closing words are by Mary Oliver. To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go, to let it go. Please rise and body your spirit to sing our recessional hymn 103, for all the saints.